What's up, guys? It's Dave from UltraMegaDeathRay.com, and I got a little treat for you. I was able to interview Matt from Two Best Friends Play, which is a very popular Let's Play style show on YouTube. I was able to ask him a number of interesting questions about him, about the show, and also about the whole Nintendo Content ID thing, which has been going on lately. So I'll just zip up and enjoy.
Alright, so it looks like we should be good to go. So it's trying to warm things up a bit. I have the recorder on right now, so just so you know.
Oh, great. So I can't say anything really damning to myself right now. Great.
Not too discriminating anyway.
Right.
Unless you want to make this like one of those TMZ interviews. So.
No, that's okay. That's all right. I don't need that right now.
I don't need that in my life. I was like surprised when I saw that you were like from Canada, because obviously it's the whole like patriotism thing, and you saying America at random times and stuff. I was like, oh, well, he's obviously proud of his country.
When we first started, like our first video for Machinima, we're playing Donkey Kong Country Returns, and whenever anything would happen, I would just start shouting America after every sort of thing, and I don't know why I did it. I was just doing it.
Right.
And after that, everyone just assumed like we were from the States and everything, and we didn't. And after a while, that became kind of my signature. Like Matt's really super patriotic, and he loves America, and like, yeah, America's great and everything. But like, we're always from Canada, and if you would decide to use this in any way, I'd like to sort of like come clean about that. The reason why is that like my mom is from America, like she was born there. Mm-hmm. My dad isn't, but like my friends would always kind of go like, "Oh yeah, you're American. I'm like, I was born here, but like it's kind of like a nickname thing, sort
like
of.
A Yankee, basically, though, right?
Yeah, like just making fun of me, and I thought it'd be funny to just turn that into a thing. So like, I've never found a really great avenue to like let that sort of bit of trivia out, but hey, yeah. So I might as well say it at some point.
You have like the animations and everything with you like holding like the bald eagle with like the American flag and everything.
Exactly. So it's like fun. It's fun, wildly out of control to say the least.
Yeah. But I feel like you guys kind of do like off the cuff sort of thing anyway. Like it's all just like live commentary, just like record it basically, right?
Yeah, it's like everything that we like, not everything, but like, obviously stuff that we've been doing like a lot of live action stuff lately just to give it, some variety and whatever.
Yeah.
But all that stuff is obviously like pre-planned. Like I didn't think Woolie was gonna show up with like a When's Marvel sign when we're playing Injustice or whatever. Like I don't think anyone could have predicted that. So that stuff, we obviously set up because we think it'd be funny. Right. But like when we're actually playing the game, almost everything we say is like we don't even think about it, and say whatever comes to our minds.
So basically, what made you guys, basically decide like to start doing Let's Play style videos?
Well, that us doing full Let's Plays from a game from start to finish was just because some people, like we were just doing the Machinima things, which were just, 10, 15 minute, quick things of the game. But then we're like, what else can we put on my channel? Because it's a channel I've had for like a couple of years now. And when I started it, I didn't really have anything. Like I had some stuff on there, but like, we're just, what can we put on the channel that people would want to watch? And some people were like, yeah, just do full LPs, and we're like, can we even do that? Can we be funny for hours and hours? I don't think we can. I don't think we can either. But then we tried. I think our first one, I can't remember right now, but I think our first one was Resident Evil 2. I can't remember now. It's weird. You'd think I'd remember such a milestone, but no, I don't really. But yeah, we just kind of wanted to put something on the channel that people would like constantly want to tune in, and we said, yeah, if it doesn't work, if we can't like be funny, then we won't do it anymore. We'll just I was just gonna stick with doing bloopers of our original like Machinima content, like just do blooper reels and trailers and occasionally like a cartoon thing. But then when we parted out with Machinima, they're like, yeah, you might not want to put like cartoons that are licensed from other companies. Yeah, you might not want to do that. And I was like, oh, okay, I won't do that then. So, yeah, that's basically like the real reason we started doing LPs to begin with.
Yeah, like so. I mean, did you guys like start off like doing like the whole Machinima thing then?
On my original channel, we put up two like what we first thought of, or what I first thought of. Like I was like, it'd be funny if two guys play like a very non-serious, non-competitive game, and it was Kirby's Epic Yarn, right? And that game you can't die. Like I don't think you can die. I never was able to. And I just thought it'd be funny if two guys got really angry playing that with each other.
Yeah.
And that one, and then the reception of that was pretty good. And then we said, let's do like a Silent Hill game, Silent Hill Shattered Memories for the Wii. And we both really, really liked that game. We're like, let's see what that's like. And then we did that. And after that, that's when we got contacted by Machinima saying, hey, this dumb thing you guys did is really dumb. We like it. So how would you like making episodes for us? And we were like, yeah, what's Machinima? I've heard of that name. I've seen that logo, but what is it? I don't understand what it is.
Yeah.
And that's basically how like that all started.
Okay, so yeah, like talking about like Kirby's Epic Yarn, like how you guys like first started doing that. Why did you stick with the like the Kirby theme for like all your videos like ever since?
Good question. It's a very pinpoint, like, oh, this is exactly why we used it. Is because when we first used it, it was because we were playing Kirby's Epic Yarn, and that's where it came from.
Right.
But when we were doing the Silent Hill one, we were gonna put like different music. I honestly forget who it was. I'm gonna say it's me. Pat will say, of course, it's him. But we were both like, no, just put the Kirby music for Silent Hill. Just use the Kirby music again. And like the question was why, and then why not? Just put the Kirby music. So you have a scary Silent Hill font with the funny Kirby music.
Right.
And plus the last line of that video was I'm not your friend anymore. Like it was something like really like heavy, right? It was like we're no longer friends. We're no longer friends. And then it would just cut to cheery Kirby music.
Do do do.
Just a contrast between like a heavy-handed like insult to cheery Kirby tunes, and that was basically that. And then after that, we're like, oh fuck it, just use Kirby for everything. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's kind of like how you use like the pictures of like bunnies and like kids jumping and stuff for like the
Yep.
for, like the Walking Dead playthrough you guys did.
Exactly, like some character you love just got their brains blown out, and then you just cut to like, you know, bunnies and children in the park, and that was basically it. Like we did Walking Dead way later. Like I wish we had both known how good it was, and so many people had already done it. And if we had gotten there like on the ground floor, that probably would have been like way better. But that was like, what do I do with putting these pictures? Like, am I just gonna put like the game characters? And like that's kind of boring. So I was like, all right, so Walking Dead just feels. You just feel everything. So why don't I just put something that cheers people up, like old people eating in the park? Everyone loves that.
Right.
So yeah, you nailed it. Like we do that often.
Yeah.
I don't know how many other times. I can't think of any other good examples, but like yeah, we do that as often as we can because I always think it's funny to have like utter sadness mixed with like utter yay.
Yeah. If the loves of your life, Emma Stone and Hitomi Jacob, were to battle in a mud wrestling Hell in a Cell match, who would come out on top? Go.
I would be on top.
You would be on top.
That's who would get. I would rush the ring. I'd get in there. I'm not gonna just watch that. Like, come on.
Spectator sport. What's that?
Exactly. People run into the ring all the time. I really like Emma Stone's career to get into a point where she would have to do that. I kind of wish she would like hit rock bottom and she'd be forced to like join wrestling or whatever. But whatever.
Probably the closest example would be like Lindsay Lohan or something like.
Yeah, like that. Like I don't wish that upon her, but like if it happened, I wouldn't be against it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So like, what's your experience been like since joining Machinima?
Yeah, like overall, it's been like absolutely like amazing. Like they've helped so much. They've like initiated a lot of stuff that we might not have thought of And there's only been like there's never been like a fully negative like because a lot of people that like people that have been with Machinima before or the general perception is not like inaccurate. Like yeah, it's a huge like business that pumps out so many videos a day and people complain like there's so many videos and it clogs on my subscription box and all that is like relatively true, but like there's all these ways around it. Like if you just want to look at two best friends stuff, you can just subscribe to the Machinima like show. Like there's always ways around it, but people are either too lazy or they don't know or it's not something that's told specifically.
Right.
But with them, like the first person that we kind of like, not really producer, but like the guy that kind of handles everything on their end with you, whose name is like I'm sure it's fine if his name is Mika Brook, and he's like absolutely instrumental in like helping us develop the show in like really positive ways that like we agreed with from like day one. Like he was the guy that was like, you should get an animator to animate like the little intros because I was doing them for a long time and they were fucking terrible.
Right.
They were like, I'm not an animation guy, so I would just actually draw. I would draw them and then scan them and then just like put the pictures in a bit. Like it was the most rudimentary caveman thing ever. Like it shouldn't have been called animation. So he like suggested that, and because of that, then we started. Like it always led to one thing or another. Now we have the best animator in the world, Two Snacks, who makes like Funtime Adventures and did the intros for like our sixth season. So like almost everything they've ever done has like really helped us out, and like we if we hadn't had them, it would have taken so much longer to even get the amount of fans that we have. Like other LPers that have had stuff pop up in like the last 2 years, like they've been around like in other forums, like on Newgrounds or doing completely other stuff on other sites, and then they build up a fan base over like a half decade.
Right.
And it's just fortunate that kind of helped us like fast forward a little bit. Like I don't believe in hacks, but it's kind of a hack in a way, but at the same time it's not like we worked any less than anyone else. Like we put like 100% everything, so even though it was like kind of a fast forward ticket, like and even if they didn't come along, I'd still be like we'd still be doing the same thing, and like it probably wouldn't have been too much different to begin with. So I don't really have like only really positive words from Machinima, and that's not just because they're my boss. Two Snacks, we found him because he did a pony version of one of our episodes. Like he took our audio and made like pony like
Two Sisters play, right?
Two best sisters play, yeah. And we were like, wow, that's kind of cute. That's pretty funny, I guess. And then we saw a second episode, which is all based on our Portal one or Portal 2 one. Yeah. And that one like had so much stuff in it, and we were like blown away. And I was like, okay, I need to contact this guy and tell him like we need to do something out like with you. So after that, like he did 1 or 2 episodes of Funtime Adventures, and we're like, okay, his designs and everything are so like consistent, and like let's make sure to have all of like our animated stuff look the same. So like we still have the original animator Ranchi like help us out with some other stuff here and there, but we thought like it'd be really cool to have one consistent animator, so like there's like everyone knows what the style looks like, and no one gets confused about like who's animating what and everything like that. So
right, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and like it makes sense too, like why you have the show kind of broken up into like seasons as well, because of the high production value. Yeah. My next question is, how rooted into reality is Woolie's story about having the threesome before going to pick up Marvel vs. Capcom 3?
Absolutely 100% true.
Like you heard it here first.
Like I'm a big advocate of, if you're telling a story, and if you're making it up, you would put yourself in a better light.
Right.
You should make yourself seem cool. Like that's just human nature. You should, if you're telling a story, you should make yourself be cooler than like. So if someone like says something absolutely damning against themselves, like I gave up a threesome with like, girls for a video game, then like that's 100% true. And he's never wavered from the story. He's never changed things. He's never had inconsistencies. We never had to Phoenix write him where we're like, hey, Woolie, there's an inconsistency here or whatever. So
I got the evidence right here.
exactly. Like the real perpetrator of the crime is you, Woolie. You lied about that. Objection. So yeah, that story is 100% true, and we love making fun of it. And Woolie takes it in stride, which is good for him.
Considering that you guys like first start, like you kind of got like your first like real start with like the Kirby's Epic Yarn. That's a Nintendo game.
Right.
How has like this whole thing with Nintendo taking monetization away from Let's Players affected you specifically?
Right now, it's affected us zero. We haven't had any sort of content claims on any of our stuff. And like we're not sure how that's going to happen in the future. That since we are partnered with Machinima, like they can do something. I don't know exactly what. It's still kind of like this was only announced last week.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it's going to go in the future. Like right now, we're just going to like not make new stuff with like Nintendo properties like Mario or what have you. And we were planning some stuff, but it's not really a big deal like for us. But like about that situation in general is that like I'm thankful at least one company has said they are going to do that, because lots of companies do that and people don't know about it. Like it's not a story that breaks. Konami is one where Konami has made multiple taken our money away from like certain parts of certain Konami games. Like not like we were doing a watch of Metal Gear Solid 4. Or wait, never mind. That's not Silent Hill Homecoming, which we're doing now, has a couple of Konami infringements on certain cutscenes in the game. And like when you get a content ID, you'll say like Konami doesn't like the fact that at 7:02 this happens, and you have it in your video. So like Konami, as far as I know, has never had a press release saying, yeah, we're doing this. Right. So Nintendo doing that, telling people they're doing that, and it only affects people that are monetizing their videos. For every like, Johnny LP or Little Billy or whatever that are, making like, here's my walkthrough of Wario, like,
right.
No, that never gets affected. Nintendo doesn't do anything with them because they're only affecting people that are making money. So out of like anyone that's kind of doing this sort of thing with their own games, like it's really the lesser of the two evils, which is, I think I told you before about how there was a story about how Sega Japan is just getting channels just permanently shut down.
Yeah.
As of it was really weird. Like it's not that widespread of a thing, but it has happened to people where like if you have one of their older Shining Force games, like they don't want anyone to look at the old stuff. They only want people to play like their new Shining Force game that's only in Japan. I don't know. It's really confusing.
Huh.
But
kind of like a controlled marketing in a way, but through other people's content.
Yeah, exactly. And like I had an original channel, like it was just called The Switcher, and now it's like The Switcher with a stupid one in the middle because I couldn't think of anything else to put in there. But I had that one since 2006, and like I had put a Capcom thing there, like a Capcom Street Fighter Stupid USA cartoon thing, and I got a copyright content ID from Capcom, and that resulted in a strike on my account. And if anyone knows, you get 3 strikes on YouTube for that type of thing, and you get your account deleted or whatever. With the Nintendo thing, that's not like ever going to happen. I guess it shouldn't, like judging by their press release. So again, that's not too bad. But like Capcom USA, like their community site, Capcom Uni, they liked my videos and they're like, these are hilarious, and they'd post them up. And it was just some bureaucrat or like like lawyer or whatever that found my thing, wasn't aware that Capcom USA is like cool with it, and just put a strike on my channel, and that like resulted in like my channel got like taken down from YouTube. And then Seth Killian, who was the Capcom community manager until like last year, is a really awesome guy. He was able to get that reversed.
Oh.
And when I told my friends about that, they're like, no one gets it reversed. I've never heard of anyone getting that decision reversed. So that was awesome. And then like after that, I made like a tiny little 2-minute funny music video of like a Studio Ghibli anime movie, and Disney had a problem with that and struck it down, and that resulted in like the permanent banning of my account. So like the Nintendo thing, it's a pain in the ass for people that play lots of Nintendo games and monetize them, but you know, they're going about it in a way that at least gives people a chance to like still make content. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if people like don't want to make like are mad about that, just don't just don't do Nintendo videos if you feel like that. Like there's not really any ifs, ands, or buts about it, I guess.
Do you believe that, like, you know, with what Nintendo is doing now, do you think other companies may potentially follow suit, like also like, you know, trying to monetize off other people's videos, like, you know, through that same way?
Yeah, I'd say it's possible. Like it seems that right now, like I don't. It seems like only Japanese companies are really doing that type of thing. Like I might be a little ignorant, but I haven't really read or heard anyone saying that like, you know, BioWare is taking stuff down, or EA or something like that. Like I know like Microsoft has done some stuff like that, especially with Halo. Like Halo is really like iffy about. I've just heard people like gotten stuff just taken down because of Halo or whatever. But yeah, I think it's possible, but it also depends on like what Nintendo stands to gain. Like I don't know if they like will make tons of money. I don't think they can, or enough money that they would care about.
Right.
I think it's for like, you know, wanting just to protect your IP or whatever, but not even protect, because all it does is put ads for Nintendo games on your Nintendo like video. But yeah, I can see companies doing that, and you know, if that actually becomes, especially with like the next generation coming up, it might even become more, because games are going to cost so much more to make. Like I think almost every company, every major AAA publisher has said like, oh shit's going to be bad. We're going to be spending lots of money. I don't know about that. I don't know.
I mean, those are almost kind of like almost like becoming like big blockbuster movies in a sense, like, in terms of like their budget and the amount of time that they have to make.
I always found that something that's very interesting, though, is that movies have such more like margin for error. For like that, like if you don't make a lot of money in the theater, you almost always make it back on DVDs and Blu-rays. Whereas games don't have that at all. It's not like there's a second chance. Like even a re-release of a game doesn't really, you know, amount to that much. But it's like people don't want to go. I don't want to go see that movie in the theater. I'll buy it on Blu-ray. But it's like I don't want to buy that video game. I'll rent it. But like, you know, like renting is not really a factor. And like, even though movies like cost like a giant AAA movie costs like, you know, $250 million, is more than any game that I'm aware of. Like they almost always like there's only like a couple of flops a year, like 2 or 3 like flops. Like they didn't make any money. Whereas in games, shit flops everywhere. Everything's flopping. Like
everything's floppy.
Like things are just flapping in the wind, you know? Like what was it? It was like God of War, Ascension,
Yeah.
Gears of War, whatever that was called. The Gears of War nobody cared about. What was it called?
Judgment, I think.
Judgment, right. And like Tomb Raider and Hitman, like all these things that they spend money on, they don't make their expected shipping numbers. And like it seems like it's a thing that if that sort of stuff still continues, and like I could see more publishers trying to make like additional revenue by focusing on YouTubers, because it's like, well, it's sitting right there and it's just individual people. Like, what are they gonna do? Type thing.
Like if more and more companies do end up doing this, it's kind of like a what if situation. Do you potentially see like any sort of like backlash maybe by the Let's Play community or just the YouTube community in general?
Oh yeah, for sure. But like what? Like then what? Like, I mean, there's only so many people that actually make like money on YouTube, like Let's Plays or what have you. And I imagine it's a generally small, like you need like 100,000. I always hear that you need 100,000 signatures to get anywhere. Like if you have less than that, like a company won't even care or whatever. But like there'll be a backlash for sure if companies like start cracking down on that. But like I don't see in what sort of context what that group can do that publishers would actually care. Like it's just two things are barely connected. Like I don't know where that could possibly go. I guess it depends on how bad we get gouged on DLC and season passes, and if they don't make enough money on that, then they're going to be like, oh, well, we need to find something else to gouge people from, so yeah.
Exactly. I mean, after EA said that they were going to stop doing the online passes thing,
yeah,
they could potentially be someone who could do the same thing as well.
Exactly. I hope so. Online passes are the worst.
Yeah. It's like, well, I guess people don't like that, and we're already hated enough, so we may as well quit doing this thing that makes people hate us more. And just like last question here, if you have like any future plans or projects that you're working on that you want to share or talk about.
What can I not talk about? Well, I would definitely say, without giving too much away, definitely tune in to our channel, youtube.com/users/the switcher with one instead of an I for some dumb reason.
Yeah.
Definitely tune in on August 1st and October 1st.
Okay. Is it like some kind of like live event, or is it just something you're going to be posting?
You figure it out. I'm not going to say nothing.
Okay. You're like freaking Bruce Wayne on this shit.
Just go. I'm just hyping it up. Just go.
Right.
August 1st and October 1st. Other than that, we it's kind of business as usual. We're thinking up some like new kind of like mini show ideas just to put on the channel and see if people like them or not. That's the thing I wanted to kind of touch on really, really briefly is that people that are like, companies are going to start cracking down on all us YouTubers. Oh my God, we can't record our video of us playing our game anymore. What are we going to do? This is our jobs or whatever. If that sort of thing happens, like us, like we as like a whole like unit, me and Pat and Woolie and I guess Liam,
I guess
we're not especially worried because we've done enough stuff like cartoons and live action stuff is that if it just comes to pass like tomorrow that just let's plays of games are banned like forever,
right.
We feel that we've branched out enough in other different like creative like ways of entertaining people with that we would be okay. And if anyone's worried about that type of stuff in the future, I say the same advice, like branch out into something else that you can do that's not recording a video game. Like even if it's just vlogs, like if you have a fan base, like they'll watch it. Like as long as you don't need a game to be playing, and if you think you're funny enough without it, then just do that and see what people respond to that, and you'll be set in case YouTube Armageddon happens tomorrow. The reason why people kind of still go like, how come Matt doesn't say America as much anymore? I'm like, well, because if I kept saying it, it would lose all glamour and veneer on it. So I try to either find really funny ways to get that sort of reference in there, but that's the other kind of thing is that on YouTube, I kind of find if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, have 100 parts for a playthrough, it's like you might want to rethink that because eventually, even something that we've done a relatively small playthrough, I don't know, 13 parts, people will tune in to the last episode if you put final, letting people know this is the last part you're going to play. That part will always have more than the last two parts before it, because people's attention spans kind of go down a bit. And even with Walking Dead, which you'd think all of them would be really consistently in terms of time would be the same viewed, but no, our last episode of Walking Dead was really high because people just oh, we want to see their reaction to the ending,
right,
type thing. So yeah, that's the other thing I was gonna say is that just like always try to think of like new stuff and new different ways of doing things and like if YouTube Armageddon happens like tomorrow, it's like just have a backup plan, you know.
Right. Yeah.
Then like I said, we're like confident that like if something happens with like all like let's play videos, like we could survive, but most likely won't be as big and people will not watch. Like, oh well, the fun's over, I guess. But like real like actual fans will stick around. It's only casual people that are like,
Right.
just go back to doing what you used to. Well, we can't. It's legally impossible for us to go back to doing what we used to do. Do it anyway. It's like, what do you want us? What? Me on a personal level, though, just really quickly, is that like, I find that like, I'm not the only one. Like, all of us come up with some ideas, but like, I'm more or less the one that like, comes up with like, let's try this, let's try that, let's try this, and whatever. Everyone comes up with their own ideas, though. But like, I always feel that like even in a producing capability, if you find like someone else that has like something like on YouTube or whatever, or like a friend that has something, you can like help a person with their stuff, and then that I find that's like actually really really like rewarding, like the Fun Time Adventure stuff. Like Two Snacks comes up with like a lot of his own jokes and his own spin on things, but like starting something like a script and passing it to someone else and working with someone on something to come up with like something that's even better than like what you envisioned is like really awesome thing to do. And if anyone's in a position to even get that, like if someone knows, if a YouTube Let's Player knows someone like a friend or whoever that's really really like talented in animation, it's like let's like never not try to do something with that person. If it's a skill set that you don't have, like me with animating, try to find someone else that can and see if you can like do something with that person, because that shit's really fun. Like I'd say it's even more fun than just playing like fucking Star Trek or Colonial Marines or whatever.
So, hope you guys enjoyed that. I just wanted to thank Matt once again for doing this interview with me. Be sure to check out his content at youtube.com/theswitcher with a 1 instead of the I. Also be sure to check out their Two Best Friends Plays videos at the Machinima channel. That's youtube.com/Machinima. And until next time, this is Dave from UltraMegaDeathRay.com. Catch you guys later.